Right now, the United States is at a very sensitive moment. Over the next few months, we're likely to learn whether prices finally begin to ease or whether everyday life becomes even more expensive. For many Americans, especially seniors, this uncertainty feels heavy. When you're living on Social Security, a pension, or a fixed income, even small changes in prices can affect your sense of security. At the same time, there's another message circulating that sounds hopeful. Many people are hearing that tax refunds could be larger than usual this year, in some cases, several $1,000s. Alongside that, there are ongoing discussions about possible one-time payments, sometimes mentioned around $2,000 for certain groups depending on how policies develop. On the surface, it sounds like relief, extra money, a little breathing room, something positive to look forward to. But before we celebrate, I want us to pause together, not to take away hope and not to suggest that help isn't needed, but because there's another side to this conversation that doesn't always get enough attention. And for seniors, that quieter side can matter just as much. My name is Sara. For more than 10 years, I've worked with Americans over 60, helping them protect what they've earned, avoid unnecessary stress, and feel more confident when financial news feels loud and confusing. I want you to know this right away. I'm not here to scare you. I'm not here to make promises. I'm here because your peace of mind matters and clear understanding matters, especially when money is involved. So let's talk calmly about what's actually being discussed. Right now, there's talk about larger tax refunds and possible payments for certain groups. Seniors are sometimes mentioned. So are veterans, families, or homeowners. But these ideas are still being discussed, adjusted, and debated. Not everything you hear is guaranteed, and not everything happens the way early headlines suggest. Some proposals change, some move slowly, some never happen at all. What matters just as much as whether money arrives is what happens if it does. Most people naturally think that more money means more freedom, and sometimes that's true. Extra funds can help with groceries, medical bills, or catching up on expenses. But there's another reality we need to acknowledge. Large refunds or sudden payments can also create new challenges if we're not prepared. Economists often worry about what happens when a lot of money enters the economy at once and is spent quickly. When demand rises faster than supply, prices tend to follow. Groceries, insurance, utilities, and everyday necessities can slowly creep higher. Seniors on fixed incomes usually feel that first. I want to be clear, refunds are not bad. Help is not bad. Many households truly need it. The key is awareness and intention. The goal isn't just receiving money. The real goal is protecting your stability and reducing stress over the long term. Let's talk for a moment about tax refunds because there's a common misunderstanding. A tax refund is not a bonus or free money. It's money you already earned that was withheld and is now being returned. For many seniors, that money has already been mentally assigned to essentials long before it arrives. And using it for necessities is often a smart and responsible choice. Trouble starts when refunds or payments feel like unexpected rewards, something extra, something exciting. That feeling can push us into spending mode, new purchases that weren't planned. And while there's nothing wrong with enjoying life, emotional spending can quietly undo the relief we were hoping for. When many people spend quickly at the same time, prices respond. Relief fades, but higher costs remain. That's why it's so important to slow down. Ask yourself, how can this money protect me instead of tempting me? You've worked hard your entire life. You deserve steadiness, not more worry. Many seniors tell me that when they hear about larger refunds, they feel like they can finally breathe. I understand that. Rising food costs, prescriptions, insurance, and home repairs add constant pressure. A refund can feel like relief arriving just in time. But here's something gentle and important to remember. A bigger refund doesn't always create freedom. Often, that money has already been spent covering past expenses. When it finally arrives, it feels less like extra money and more like catching up. A refund isn't a reward. It's your money coming back. And because it's your money, every dollar deserves thought and care. When refunds feel like bonus cash, our mindset shifts. We tell ourselves we deserve something new after all the stress, and wanting comfort is human. But I've seen many situations where one emotional purchase leads to another, and before long, the money is gone and the stress returns. Real freedom doesn't come from spending quickly. It comes from choosing what truly gives you stability. Sometimes that means paying down high interest debt. Sometimes it means setting aside a small emergency cushion so one surprise doesn't create panic. Sometimes it simply means waiting. Freedom isn't about how big the check is, it's about how thoughtfully you use it. Now let's talk briefly about inflation because it affects everyone, whether refunds arrive or not. Inflation doesn't announce itself, it shows up quietly at the grocery store and on your bills. The same amount of money buys less than it used to. For seniors on fixed income, that feels personal. When extra money enters the economy quickly and is spent quickly, demand rises and prices follow. Even when inflation slows later, prices usually don't return to where they were. That means every increase matters. I'm not sharing this to create fear. I'm sharing it so you feel prepared. Understanding what's happening helps you stop blaming yourself and start making steady choices. If one day a larger refund or a special payment arrives, I want you to pause, take a breath, let the excitement settle. That money can either strengthen your life or disappear faster than expected. People often ask if it's okay to enjoy some of it. And the honest answer is yes, after your foundation feels steady. Peace lasts longer than excitement. It's also important to remember that these payments don't always reach everyone, and they don't always arrive the way headlines suggest. That's why thinking in what if terms instead of when terms is helpful. What if extra money comes? What would protect me most? Imagine asking yourself, what feels most fragile right now? Groceries, medical costs, debt. When money goes towards strengthening those areas, something shifts. Stress softens, sleep improves. That's real relief. One of the most practical steps is simply slowing down. Not every dollar needs to move right away. Let it sit. Look at your needs. Ask yourself, if this money were gone tomorrow, what would I regret not taking care of? Over the years, I've noticed something consistent. The calmest seniors aren't always the wealthiest. They're the ones who pause, plan, and make thoughtful decisions. Money doesn't control them. They control money. Before we finish, I want you to hear this. You don't need to rush. You don't need to prove anything. You've earned the right to clarity and calm. Refunds and headlines will come and go, but steady decisions stay with you. I'm glad you spent this time with me. My goal is always to help you feel grounded, informed, and confident as you move forward.